40 days on the carnivore diet. I made it 40 days. Today's 41. And I feel pretty good. Other than some pain in my neck and my shoulder and my back because I've been lifting, because I've been emptying this house. Other than that, I feel pretty good. There was one meal where we weren't carnivore. What it was we were giving my mom a big send-off. So we went to one of those Japanese steakhouses that, they cook the food right there in front of you at the table, one of those deals. And of course, they have all these inclusions of, there's some noodles and there's some rice and there's some vegetables, and I didn't want to be rude. My mom was paying for this meal and I didn't want to just waste half of it. So we went ahead and ate that. Other than that, how did I feel the next day? I felt kind of that was probably more carbs in that meal than I'd eaten all month. The biggest challenge of being on a carnivore diet is not, I don't know, it's all mental. Physically, the only challenges I presented was, a lot of people asked about the plumbing, if you get my drift. There was a couple of days where that was prominent, where things were going a little bit quicker than needed to. But other than that, at this point, everything is normal, and you're not going, sometimes you're going once a day, sometimes you're not. Constipation has not been a problem. A lot of people ask about that. I've learned that a lot of the fiber intake that we're told that we have to have is commercially food based. In other words, we've been told that so they can sell us these products. You needed this cereal, you needed this, all these different things. And what it is the enzymes, that's what breaks everything down. And gut health is important. Carolyn O'Byrne has talked about that many times. And for the most part, you can feel that meat in your gut sometimes, but that's essentially what makes you feel full. So if you're real sensitive to high meat, then, it's going to be a challenge at first. I suggest the keto, or what they call ketovore, where you're eating some vegetables, and that's the thing. That's the deal with carnivore diet. It's a reset. It's a full body reset, and then you introduce the foods, reintroduce the foods over time after you've reset to see what you react to. And you're going to find that there's a lot of even natural foods that may not, gel well with you. I mean, look at some of the things in nature that if you eat is poisonous to you. So, and there are some meats out there that are like that, I believe, but if you eat too much protein, that's another concern people have, eating too much protein. Most carnivores that I've talked to and read about, they'll eat anywhere from 1 to 2 pounds of meat a day. Now that might sound a lot, but when it comes to a hamburger, you're eating that much hamburger. I'll show you. This would be a meal to you. Okay, this is frozen hamburger. This would be a meal for me. Now this is 80% lean, 20% fat. I always get the 73% lean. And so, this was given to me, obviously it's frozen. But this would be a meal because it cooks down so much, and then add a couple eggs, and when you do that, that would be one meal, and you're pretty much, if you do that at dinner time, you're not hungry again until 1 or 2 the next day. I promise you. Of course, I'm 265 pounds at the time of this recording, and so maybe if you're 180 pounds, this might be 2 meals. Okay. It is easier to transition to a full carnivore diet if you try a low carb diet first. If you go cold turkey, I'm going to go from eating 3 Krispy Kreme donuts a day to eating nothing but hamburger, your body's going to go, whoa, and you're going to feel like crap. And as human nature, if you feel like crap, you're not going to continue to do it, right? And that to me is the biggest testimony of this way of eating, is that it's easy to stay on because you feel good. So there's a part of the carnivore tribe is what they call it, or the carnivore lifestyle people that get into the complexities of it. And like if you follow Thomas DeLore on YouTube, he gets into the complexities. Dr. Berg gets into the complexities of keto and low carb and all that. Whereas Sean Baker just says, look, eat meat, heal yourself. He's very simplified. Same thing with Ken Berry. And I'm kind of somewhere in the middle. I don't want to eat nothing but ribeyes every day. I want to try to change up my diet. So my diet consists of like a lot of pork roast and pork chops and hamburger, and every now and then I'll grab a steak. Like the last 2 nights at home, I've been eating 2 of these long cubed, like they've been tenderized steaks. Not the best cut of meat. And then I would just add butter for fat. Butter, heavy whipping cream are great resources to get that fat up. Because if you eat too much protein without the fat, that could be a problem. So it's all about the fat. It's all about the fatty aspects of the meat. When they were cutting up our little steaks at the Japanese restaurant, he was trimming the fat and getting rid of it. Which is clever, because they can buy crappier cuts of meat, or what people consider crappier cuts of meat, and then just trim the fat right there, so you're not doing it on your own plate. No harm, no foul, right? But I remember telling my wife, I was like, "Oh, he's cutting the fat off. He's getting rid of the best part." So I'm not a scientist. I'm not a doctor. You definitely want to look into it. Don't just take my word for it. There are several other people that have done the challenge with me, and they've done well with it. One friend lost 12 pounds. Another one lost 30 pounds eating this way. I've lost about, 12 pounds, 15 pounds, something like that. And it's literally changed how I look at food. And and of course, the YouTube algorithms and the Google algorithms and the Facebook algorithms have brought me on a path of better health as far as knowledge goes. And we'll get into a lot of the details of that when I can get over this crisis I'm dealing with right now. As far as, that has nothing to do with diet or whatever. It's a family thing. And, and also a part of that, it's 9 o'clock. I get a ton of YouTube. There we go. Another part of that is the amount of clarity and calmness I feel when it comes to stressful situations. That's huge. I used to be very reactive. I used to be very angry. I used to be very depressed. Do I still get angry and depressed? Absolutely, but not. But it's clearer. It's smoother. For lack of a better term, and I can't really explain it. There's so many things I've learned about what foods are doing to us, and I've felt the effects, both negative and positive. So one meal out of a full 40 days, I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good shot. Now, people ask me, am I going to stay eating this way? For the most part, I think I will. I do miss vegetables. I actually like vegetables. I actually like salad. But I don't see myself eating a whole lot of that anymore. Maybe some cooked broccoli, mushrooms, cauliflower. Something grilled as a garnish. There's a restaurant we go to that they put peppers and onions as a grilled garnish. Maybe something like that. I stayed away from that stuff other than that one night so I can stick to the challenge and so I can be honest with you guys. There was no cheats whatsoever at all. And my wife can testify that. Now, I will say this. It was easier to do in the truck than it was at home. In some ways. Because what you find is when you're not obsessed in food, when you're not obsessed in what the next meal is going to be, you find yourself not thinking about food, so you find yourself, your mind going other places. And that's where I think some of the clarity comes in. Is now that's one less thing you have to worry about. Hey, I'm going to have this for dinner tonight. Put some salt, pepper, some butter, maybe some cheese, and you're good to go. There's no thought, there's no special recipe, And in some ways, like, well, Steve, that's boring. But after a while, it doesn't matter. You just don't care. And eating becomes, you actually enjoy eating, but it's more of a necessity than an activity, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So, and if you're thinking, well, that must be really boring or that must suck to not ever have pizza, to not ever have, an occasional piece of cake, to never have, a big taco salad. That's the freedom I've gained, is I don't think like that anymore. Would I still enjoy those things? Maybe, but I don't enjoy how certain foods made me feel. So I guarantee you that the 380-pound person wouldn't handle this family crisis. The 380-pound person wouldn't be able to move furniture, wouldn't be able to move boxes, wouldn't have been able to been on his feet for 2 hours at a time. So so the end of the 40 days, there's no regrets. There's no ill effects to my health whatsoever. There's been a bunch of improvements in my health because I can feel it. The weight loss is not as fast as I thought it might be, but it definitely got me out of my stall that I was having. Why was I stalling on my weight loss? Well, because I was eating the cheats. Oh, a burrito today is not going to hurt me. Oh, these keto slim fast treats are really good. I'm going to have a couple of them a day. And I increased my intake of soy and whey and wheat. For the most part, there was some wheat, but not a whole lot. But these keto cheat things, like the keto bread and the keto slim fast and the fat bombs and the erythritol and stuff, that was not helping me. In fact, it was bringing back old habits. It was bringing back that addiction. So the best way you get rid of addiction is you stop it. Like if you quit smoking, you don't smoke like once every 6 months, or you don't smoke once a month, and expect that you're gonna quit completely or get the health benefits from quitting completely. The diet's the same way. And if you go back to what Mother Nature intended, how can you argue with that? So if you're suffering from diabetes, high blood pressure, obesity, depression, anxiety, Alzheimer's, dementia, MS, I've seen so many testimonials of eating carnivore decreasing or curing all of those things, including cancer. I'm not saying that if you eat nothing but hamburger, it's going to cure any cancer, but you get to a fasting point, it starves cancer, keeps the cells from, wanting to reproduce, because cancer cells metabolize off of sugar. And all the ailments that 90% of America's suffering is all based around the food that we're eating. So, to everybody that joined me in this challenge, I really appreciate you. I want to thank everybody for the encouragement. We'll have some kind of call-in show when I'm over this family thing, and I can answer questions to the best of my ability. It's going to be from my personal experience, not because I'm some expert at anything. And I think I'm going to keep going. Maybe not like 99.9% carnivore, but maybe 90%. What they call, I think there's a term out there called ketovore. I hate terms. I hate labels. I really do. But my diet's going to be predominantly meat. And that's all there is to it. I feel better. You guys can see the results. I've lost some weight. I've gained some muscle. And it's helped me physically, mentally, and actually spiritually. We can get into that later. That being said, thanks for watching. Make sure you hit the thumbs up on the way out. And, if you're new to my channel, subscribe. I don't talk just about health. I talk about health, trucking, heavy metal, whatever, because I am a metalhead. And, we can talk about whatever you want. I don't pretend I know everything, because I don't. So with that being said, thanks for watching. Peace.